Hey guys, so I'm going to share with you the essence of how to learn to love yourself. Before I do, I want to give you some backstory as to why I have something to say about this and why you can trust, at least on this in the beginning, why it would be actually really useful for you to see this. Did you know that if you type into Google how to learn to, and you don't finish the rest, but just how to learn to, the first suggested search is how to learn to love yourself, which means the most popular thing that people search for when they're trying to learn how to do something is how to love themselves. My friend told me about that recently, and I went and checked it, not just with my own Google search with my personal history, but like incognito tabs, so it's just an anonymous search. It's genuinely what comes up. The most popular thing that people search for when they want to learn how to do something is how to learn to love yourself. When he told me that, and then I checked it too, it was like, wow, I could just feel my heart break for how many people, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people are searching to learn how to love yourself. And it's something that I have something to say about, and why I want to, let me give you the backstory as to how I know that I have something to say about that. Because it's only recently that I really know that I have something to say about it. And when I say that, what I mean is it's only really recently that I've become quite conscious that I actually have something to say that's useful to people about this. I've known that it's important for me, and then I use it for me, and I work on it for me for a long time. I've had a consciousness for myself, but it's really recently I've come to realize that I actually have an impact on other people's ability to love themselves. Therefore, I have something useful for other people too, in this specific context. How that became in my awareness is recently I was in a conversation with my clients. A group of my clients come together just to celebrate our wins, celebrate what we've been creating, what they've been creating. It was an idea of one of my clients, which is an awesome idea, and I'm grateful to her for that. But and it was, so basically everybody shared about all the stuff they've created in their world, the success, the money, the relationships, all that kind of stuff in their business and their personal life. And everybody also shared that the biggest thing, the thing they most value that they've gotten through our work, is learning how to love themselves. And I was like, wow, this is so interesting that everybody is saying this. And yes, it's important to me, but it's never been, until now anyway, it hasn't been the explicit thing that I've pointed to as like, this is what we do together as you learn how to love yourself. It's actually something I spend a lot of time on with people, but I spend a lot of time on it because the creating perspective that I teach and that I bring forth in my coaching brings people to see how they don't. It's actually really confronting. If you want to go and create stuff in the world and create stuff in your life, like you're not loving yourself, it ends up being the primary obstacle. And so I end up having to teach people and coach people and help people learn how to love themselves because they get in their own way with not loving themselves when I'm trying to help them create stuff in the world. So it becomes the foundational work. It becomes a necessary work for us to do, is to people to learn to love themselves. And so I'm always doing it because I've created it as a problem by helping them to try to create whatever they want in their life. So not only am I doing it with people, that people are saying to me, man, you teaching me how to love myself has been the most valuable thing, which is a beautiful thing because upon reflection, I guess, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't love yourself, then what's it worth? You can have all the best people around you, but if you're not loving yourself, what's it worth? It's not worth that much. So learning to love yourself is absolutely the most important thing. So now we're getting to it. I'm going to share an overview of how to genuinely learn to love yourself. By the way, if you find this interesting, subscribe to the channel, follow along if you're on social media, and if you really want to get these videos in short summaries, join my Creating Insights by email. You can find the link and sign up for those at my website. So, how to learn to love yourself. First, let's distinguish what self-love actually is. It's not self-care. Self-care is a beautiful thing. Taking care of yourself, get a massage, make time for yourself, put yourself first, all great stuff. Self-care is important. I honor it. I practice it myself. I hold it as a high value. It's not self-love. It's not even feeling good. It's not saying nice things to yourself. It's not pumping you up with positive emotion and giving you a sense that things are okay because you feel good. Self-love is not good feelings. Okay? Self-love is actually releasing yourself from any of the judgments, the beliefs, the ideas that you hold in your mind that obfuscate love that is. So love just is. And our mind, our thoughts get in the way of it. So it sounds like to love yourself is something you do, but self-love is actually something that happens and emerges all by itself when you stop doing the things that get in the way of it. So essentially, we can actively hate ourselves, but we can't actively love ourselves. You can't force love. All you can do is to let go of the things that block it. So then, therefore, to learn to love yourself is actually to learn how you hate yourself. If you can learn how you hate yourself, and hate's a strong word, but if you are resistant to it, then I would challenge that it's really something for you to look at. Because if you hate the idea that you might hate yourself, you're getting started with self-hate right there. That's self-hate. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's self-hate right there. Being so certain that you couldn't possibly treat yourself in that way is an act of self-hate, actually. Not considering the possibility that you might be unkind to yourself. This closed-mindedness to that possibility is a form of self-hate. It's a limitation you put on yourself. It's a prison that you live in. And so leaning into the possibility that you might hate yourself outside of your awareness. And hate's a strong word, but if you actually look at it, little judgments, ways that you shut yourself down, I call them micro judgments. Oh, I'm so stupid when I do that. Oh, I procrastinate. That's self-hate. That's it. Just these little ideas that you let your mind repeat to you about yourself that are getting in the way of you just feeling free, open, true, joyful. And I say feeling, but I use that word hesitantly because it's not just about a feeling. There's a deeper, more profound liberation in your state of being than a positive feeling. That's for me what love is. And so to learn to love yourself, you have to learn how you hate yourself, how you judge yourself, how you get in the way of love, how you limit yourself, let's say. And if you can learn to do that, then when you can see, that's about creating awareness. Create awareness around the ways that you get in the way of love, the love that is. And once you're aware of those things, the next thing you want to learn to do is to let that stuff go, to forgive, to release. And there's so many different approaches to that. If you watch a lot of my videos, if you join my creating studio and you watch my classes, you'll see all the different ways that you can do that. But the essence of it, the thing you need to learn to do once you learn how you get in the way of love is how you can stop doing that, how you can let go of that judgment, how you can release the attachments, how you can challenge and break apart the ideas, how you can start to see that speaking about yourself in a certain way is not just a description, but it's actually a creation. It generates a reality that you carry forward into your future. And as you can, not just with your words that are empty, but actually with your whole body, start to let go and release these ideas and these beliefs and these ways of thinking about yourself that get in the way of love, what happens is love happens. Self-love is not a doing, it's a happening, and it emerges in the space beyond forgiveness, beyond letting go, beyond releasing. I can't give you everything right now about how to do every single tiny piece. What I want to do is give you an overview. This is about learning to love yourself. How can I learn to love myself? The two things you need to learn to do is learn to see how you stop love, how you actively live as an expression of the ideas that are contrary to love. That's the first one. And the second one is once you can see those, how do I actively let go? How do I stop doing that? How do I forgive? How do I release? Right? So those are if you came here with one question, how to learn to love yourself, how do I learn to love myself? What I want to give you is two questions to leave with, but they're questions that are within the answer. The next question to start to research, and you can watch my videos, look through my YouTube channel, browse all the titles, look for the ones that speak to these things that can help you with it, and elsewhere. The things you want to look for is how do I become aware of the ways that I hate myself, that I judge myself? How do I cultivate more awareness around that? And the other one is how do I forgive and how do I let go? When you're not hating yourself. Oh, it's just like I was thinking about this earlier too. Right now, I'm learning to garden. Doing a bad job at it. And I say that with a smile because I'm not hating myself for it. I'm just acknowledging and I'm aware of me being an obstacle to life coming forth in the garden. And that's the point. My idea is that my vegetable garden would grow if I stopped killing the plants. How am I killing it? Am I putting it in the sun too much? Not enough? How am I obfuscating life? How am I getting in the way of the unfolding of these plants? Like, life wants to happen. Maybe I'm watering it too much. Maybe I'm watering it too little. So I'm taking the position of the creator of the obstacle to the unfolding of life, from seed to plant to vegetable or fruit, right? And so by taking that position of all I am doing is getting in the way of this life coming forth right now. And so all I'm looking for is, like, how am I getting in the way of life coming forth? And you could say it, because if you look at it as, oh, what do I have to do to bring this life forth? It's like, I'm not going to make the vegetables grow. All I can do is figure out how to not get in the way. And if I stop getting in the way, then it will happen all by itself. And this is exactly the same as love. If you figure out how you're getting in the way of love sprouting forth in you, and you stop doing that, letting go, forgiving, releasing, first the awareness, then the letting go and releasing, love just pours forth. So self-love isn't something you have to do. I don't have to pull the vegetables out of the dirt. It happens all by itself when I figure out how I'm getting in the way and I stop doing that. So if you want to learn to love yourself, these are the things you need to focus on. I can help you with that personally if you'd like that, but at least I hope this orients your learning in such a way where you'll get more insight and more action. Anyway, thanks for being here. Much love. Talk to you soon.